Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 𝗬𝗏𝗶 live show. Woohoo! This is going to be fun. Okay, so this is a show focused on, positive living, living a life of balance, chasing your passion, having quality time with the people that you love, and, to make the world a better place. So this is a show all about positive things. And tonight, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that my good friend Candice here to share with us. Okay. So, Candice, welcome to the 𝗬𝗏𝗶 Live show. Can I ask you, Candice, maybe for a few minutes, you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi YP, and thank you. And I'm happy, very happy and privileged to be in your show. So, actually, I'm the founder of the Artz Training, and I'm helping companies to, to build resilience for their teams. And I also work on client engagement and communications, basically. So when we talk about clients, it's external clients as well as team synergy. And also on the other side, I work on resilience and self-care. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you are multi-talented. So, where do you learn all these skills, to be able to do client engagement, to be able to do resilience? Where do you pick up all these skills?
Firstly,
what's a bit about your background? Yeah.
It is my experience. So I've been working many years. I think more than 20 years, all right, in the management space, doing training and, managing the training department on a regional basis. And we were working a lot on client experience.
Okay.
So this is part of my job, actually. Yeah.
Okay. And why do you say client experience? Why is client experience important?
Client experience, well, because if you are selling a product or service, right, the product and service itself is not as important as what you give to your clients, basically, because there are so many products or services in this world. People can always do better. So if you think you have a wonderful, innovative product, someone can do better. But if you're offering personal service from your heart, then nobody can replace that.
It's the experience that we give our clients, isn't it?
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, what you say makes sense. And it remind me of my car mechanic. You can go anywhere to have your car service, but I remember there's this particular workshop I go to regularly. Okay, so the thing is that you drop your car off, and then they give you a courtesy ride. Okay, they give you a courtesy ride to wherever you want. So they actually have got people to take you, and then when it's time for you to collect your car, even before that, they'll send you a message to say, after checking your car, what's wrong with it and the estimate budget, so there's no surprises, so that you can tell them that you want to go ahead with it, and then they give you approximate time when the car will be ready, so you can arrange your transport to get back. So they make it, take the guesswork out of, having a car service. So is this something like what you talk about, giving a client experience?
I think, yes, that's certainly great. I mean, to give you a ride to wherever it is and all that, and maybe fetch you back or something like this, right? But it can be in many forms, really.
Okay.
So we have to, depending on what the service is, some thought has to be put into it to design something that is memorable and will touch the hearts of your clients. Yeah.
If I have to ask you to, share, because I mean, we're going off topic a bit because this is supposed to be about resilience, but
Yes.
I'm so intrigued by what you have in terms of client experience, because I think in this competitive, market right now, it's so important to get your client experience right, isn't it? Yeah. So can you just share one idea that you had, or one experience that you have for an amazing client experience? Would you? Can you share a story?
My own story?
Or any story that you come across, yeah. Either your clients, your own story, how you've done it, or any of the clients that you've trained or coached, how they've done, something amazing for their clients, or somewhere that you've experienced yourself. Yeah.
So maybe if I talk about, okay, maybe I just do a simple one, all right?
Yeah.
Without having to think too much of, I have so many stories in my head, I don't know which one. But I just do a simple one. When I was working, all right, at that time, and we started with exceptional customer service. Those days, you can say customer service, exceptional. That's already like on a very high level. All right, we were not into client experience yet. And what I would do was I would go around the whole industry and check out what the rest are doing. All right. And I realized that at that point in time, this is many years ago, at that point in time, nobody was really welcoming their clients. They were welcoming with a smile, or, depends on the attitude and the personality of the sales associate. I'm talking about retail, all right, this particular story. So, but nobody was actually articulating like, good morning, welcome to, this place. Then that will be revolutionary. That will be unique. So what we did was to really train everybody to say that the first thing when the client walks into the boutique or the area, right? And sometimes, because no matter how warm you are, maybe people don't even notice because they're walking in, looking at the merchandise. You can greet me, I probably didn't even hear. But why not articulate it? Welcome to, good morning. And then people will take notice. And because nobody was doing that, the clients were shocked. So when I got feedback that the clients look at me like I'm strange, I said, that's great because nobody is doing it. Yeah. But now it doesn't work already. Now too much. Everybody's doing it and not in the right way. So yeah, this is really in the past.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to be out there to be more innovative than what I would use the word competitors are doing, right? Good. And it was interesting that you're sharing that you also go out and do what we call a recce to check what other people are doing so that you can, benchmark against them. Interesting.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I suppose it's the nature of business now, isn't it? If you've got something innovative, something you do that's different out there, you cannot stay complacent, isn't it? Because other people will be observing you, seeing what you do, and then they may go one better, right?
Yes, of course. That's right.
So it's a continuous journey. Okay, right. Okay, so coming back to the original topic, so this topic this week is about resilience and self-care. Resilience is such a big word. Can you tell us what does the word resilience actually mean?
Actually, resilience very simply means your ability to bounce back from adversity.
Okay, so that means you well, as the saying goes, it is not a matter of how many times you fall, but how many times you get up, isn't it? So is it something tied along to that statement? Yeah. Then when you fall down, you get up again and spring. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it also means that when you have adversity, you move on.
Okay.
Or are you being pulled down? Yeah.
So why is being resilient important when you're a business owner?
Okay, definitely it's important because so many things are happening around the world. Okay, in fact, if you have a business, you already have many issues around your own business. It always happens, right? There will be challenges and things like that. Things happen. So you don't want to be affected or too affected or to be slowed down too much if you're not resilient. Then not to mention the external factors like the pandemic over the last 2 years. So if you're not resilient, then it's going to be very problematic. Yeah.
So you're saying that the current business, I would say business environment or business reality is that there are many challenges out there. And if you're not able to, I'm going to borrow a word from my friend. Okay, 𝘁𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗶, the founder of Speakers Institute, is a good friend of mine. He's the one that has got a robotic arm. Okay, Yeah, he
Right.
actually got involved in an accident, you know, where he was technically dead, you know, because his heart stopped for a certain period, and he lost his arm and his leg couldn't bend and so on. And so he is the one that talks about, you know, he doesn't talk about bouncing back. He talks about bouncing forward, you know. Yeah, interesting idea, isn't it? Because, you know, when you face a challenge, you want to come back stronger, isn't it? To be able to move forward rather than go back to where you were. Yeah.
Yes, that's why just now I said to move also.
Yeah.
Because actually when you bounce back, you're never where you were because you are always stronger.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you share with us some strategies that, you know, as a business owner, we can be a bit more resilient, or what can we do to be resilient? Yeah.
I think if I tell you, you know, be positive, take it as a learning experience and look ahead and, you know, all these things, right? I just find that it's already existing everywhere. And every business owner, not to even mention business owner, everybody knows, isn't it? You are supposed to be optimistic, positive, you got to look forward, you got to plan, you got, you know, you have to look at other resources, you need support. Aren't all these things, yeah, everybody knows about it. So for me, I would go deeper and then think about why we are resilient or why we're not resilient. So we think about in the past how we've learned to be resilient or not, the learned experience. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you apply? How would we, in I suppose, in practical terms, what would be an example of how we can apply some of the, you know, resilience that we learn, or some of what we've learned? How can we apply it? You know, can you just share with us some examples?
Right. So what I want to say is that, okay, you mean a business example or maybe
Can be anything. Yeah, I think, you know, our listeners coming in, some may be business owners, some may be professionals, some may be senior executive in companies. You know, so yeah, a generic answer would do. Yeah.
right. So maybe I share a personal example right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
Because
ahead.
something close to my heart, and I've been really sharing this with people who are affected, right? Affected by stress at work and everything else going around. And okay, somebody, right, I know quite close. So I was talking to her and she said, "You're the only person who didn't tell me stop thinking about this, you know, be positive and take it as a learning experience. It's okay. You have to fail in order to succeed." So she said, "You're the only one who didn't tell me that." And you know why I didn't tell her? Because if you tell a person all these things, first of all, it will only work for a while, right? But after like a few days, it's going to come again. Maybe after 45 minutes, for example, she's going to think about it already. So we can't really tell people not to think about it or be positive. It becomes too lame because they are hearing all this. So much so that the people would detest it when they hear about all this, because it's easy for you to say, but you don't know what I'm going through. So that's exactly what goes in their mind. Whether you're a business owner, because if you need to be resilient or if you have challenges, you're either yourself or you're a business owner. I mean, it's quite the same thing.
Yeah. So you know those phrases that you say, don't think about it, be positive on. But this is what I would say, society, you know, we have all been programmed to say all these things, isn't it? Whenever we meet somebody, you know, let's say somebody who lost. You know, recently I just attended a funeral of one of my friend. The husband passed on, passed on. Okay. And I find myself saying the same thing. Oh, don't worry, things will be okay. Be strong. You know, you got your sons to love you. You know, we seem to come up with, you know, standard phrases that we've been programmed that, you know, maybe the same thing have been said to us, you know, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So maybe I should.
What can we do differently?
I think really we can say all this, but it's more like in that kind of situation, what else can you say? You know, so to me, it's almost like a more superficial statements that we are saying this way. But if I have private moment with a person, I would really listen to that person. But what normally we try to do is that we never listen to understand. We listen to reply or rebuttal or to quickly kind of shift the person. You know, for example, the person is very down. They quickly say, hey, don't think about it. You know, be positive. So you almost like want to intersect and quickly shift because you don't want the person to just go down like that. Yeah. But by doing so, you're also not listening. You understand? Then that person is like, stop. So I'm sharing, then you stop me, like, oh, okay. Yeah. So what you say will just pass them. It's not going to resonate with them. You see, so if they want to speak, you listen to them first, no matter how down, how gloomy they feel, you know, whatever, just wait till they finish. I think that's very important. And then because it's important that the person recognize these emotions in himself or herself also.
Okay.
The awareness.
So are you saying that, you know, let's say if I meet a person who is really down and so on, instead of trying to cheer the person up by saying the standard phrases, what I should be doing is listening. And what's the word they use? Empathy, empathize with the person to understand the situation and give the other person an opportunity to surface and to share the feelings. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would do it provided the person is ready to share. So it's not like you're going to purposely dig out everything and let the person pour out all the grievances, you know. Depends on which stage they're at. Sometimes they are a little bit more advanced, they are ahead already. So you wouldn't want to go and dig and for them to bring out the whole episodes, you know, and then after that they feel down and out. But depending on what the person wants, I would listen to them rather than immediately give my advice.
Okay. So I think the key lesson I learned from you is to listen first before offering the standard phrases or advice. Okay, right. And I guess it depends on your relationship with the other person too, isn't it? Because if you're not, you know, if you're not somebody close, you know, the other person could be thinking, you know, if I use a stronger, who the hell you are, you know, that type of thing to tell me what to do. Or
yes, that's right. So I mean, I am very I'm very honest. So I mean, the way I say it, like, okay, this is so lame and all that, it's really what I think myself. Okay. So, but generally, if I don't know the person well, I would also say these things.
Okay.
Because you don't have
but
a
maybe
chance,
with a little bit. Sorry, I missed you the part.
Yeah, I mean, because if I don't have the chance to go deeper, and I don't have the opportunity, you know, I don't really know the person, or I know the person well, but this is not the time to say anything else. You know, then I would just say something very simple like this.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that all of you have come across situations where you meet somebody that needs a little bit of comforting, consoling, and so on. You know, please, you know, share into the chat. You know, any questions you have or any points that you want to make about how you handle that situation, right? So we have in this room with us, you know, Miss Candice Cheng. She is, you know, she's worked for more than 20 years, you know, in the corporate world doing training and helping people develop, you know, memorable client experience or client engagement, you know. Yeah, and she's been, you know, she didn't say that, but I just add a little bit more flavor into the introduction. She has actually been involved in the management level, the leadership level of a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, so she's got the experience dealing with customers at the highest level. Okay, so that's Miss Candice Cheng. So this is the, you know, although it's the Ask YP now show, it doesn't mean that you cannot ask Candice question. Okay, so she's more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Just type it into the whichever what do you call it, platform you're listening to, you type it in, we should be able to see your questions, right? Okay, so Candice, so we talked a bit about resilience, the important resilience, and how to be resilient. Let's talk a bit about self-care. What do you mean by self-care? How do we look after ourselves?
Yeah, I think you're very good at this in your Work Less Earn More bootcamp. You talk about health and fitness and all that. Self-care to me will be really, of course, taking care of yourself. But to me, if you go deeper, it's recognizing your own emotions. Being aware of what you're thinking, what is happening, what's going on in your mind, because that's very important. So you want to catch yourself at the right moment so that you can, maneuver and intercept.
Can you elaborate a bit more, because I think this is very interesting. What do you mean by observe, intercept, maneuver? Okay, can you give some examples? Yeah.
Right. So you see, some of us, right, we are very much aware, emotionally aware of what's going on in our mind. So take, for example, if we're feeling stressed, we almost we know right now I'm feeling stressed, excuse me, and it's because of what incident, and even the symptoms that I'm feeling. Perhaps I have this ache over here at the back, and I know exactly it was the email that I read, So we're very clear. If you're very clear, you're able to separate this from another event. Because if you're very clear, you also can compartmentalize, meaning there's this other thing that has a happy outcome. So I still count myself lucky, and that I can have this kind of opportunities, and I'm very happy with that, very satisfied with that. But over here, I'm feeling guilt, I'm feeling so if you are very clear, you can almost compartmentalize, and therefore you're not pulled down entirely. You're not feeling that it's like the end of the world. Nothing works for me. Even if there's something good, you will say, that's nothing, because you will not be able to see this. But if you're very clear with what's happening, you know that, hey, this is not bad. This is a step ahead. I'm moving. But this other thing, wow, okay, I'm being put down. So that's what I mean.
Okay. Right, 𝗁𝗏𝗲, thank you so much for your comment. Right, okay. So Candice is telling us that we got to compartmentalize I use the word, our thoughts, our feeling, and our experience. Is it right? Yeah. To say in which basket, I use the word basket, that it belongs to, so that we know that some baskets or some parts of our life is doing well, and some part not so well. And once we have got that clarity, as what Candice say, then we can work on those areas that we feel. I use the word opportunities to improve, to make better. Right. Okay.
Right.
So Candice, let's say I'm a busy, it could be executive, busy professional, or a busy business owner, and I'm trying to get things a bit more balanced in my life. How can I do that? Because all the time I'm running around, and how do I get the clarity? Because that clarity is important, apparently. Yeah.
Yes. So I coined this term, I pause. All right. I pause means you take a deliberate pause to create more movement in your life. That means you need to pause, you need to have a conversation with yourself, and of course there are ways of doing it to give absolute clarity of what you're going through, even though you may not even be so aware of it. But it can bring all those issues up.
Do you help people to pause? So a lot nowadays, a lot of business owners, they are they I mean, sometimes some would prefer to DIY, do it themselves, but sometimes they like to do it for them, or do it with them, that type of model. Do you have any suggestions how we can help them, or you can help them to get that pause, to get the, I would say, the oasis of peace in their busy life, Yeah.
Okay. So of course you can use app, do yourself, those calming apps and all that. And the workshops that I conduct is not anything like teaching you breathing or asking you to do a meditation, because you can do that yourself. There's so many apps out there, right? But it's using a kind of a tool whereby I can help you see things clearly.
Okay.
It's taking you into a space whereby you can have a revealing conversation with yourself.
Wait, say that again. It is a space where I can have a conversation with myself?
Yes, have a revealing conversation with yourself. That's right.
Hey, you made me very curious already. Can share some more or not?
Okay.
With,
Anyway, how often do you talk to yourself?
I think I talk to myself all the time. Like
Right.
self-talk. Oh, I gotta get my coffee. I gotta get my things, and that natural babbling to yourself. I think I do that all the time, but that's not what you're referring to, is it?
Yeah, no. So I sometimes call it depending on the occasion, because it can be done in different ways. I sometimes call it a virtual tea session. I sometimes call it a me space. But people misunderstand, because me space can be simple things like, yeah, I do have my own me space because me time, I like to read, so I stay in a corner, have a cup of tea, and I do some reading. All right. Or I go to the beach, or I go to the spa or whatever, but it's not that kind of me time. It's really seriously thinking. So you may think, I also think, right? I'm also thinking like, okay, 2022, what kind of goals do I have? But it's really not like that. So there is a process which, unfortunately, I really don't want to share, because I truly believe in experiential journey. So sometimes even when I present this workshop to people, it's very vague. So they join without knowing what it is. And the results will be great in this way.
So let me get it straight. You don't want to tell me the details, but you
Yes.
tell me that you're going to help me have a conversation with myself, and the outcome of it is that I'm going to be a bit more clearer.
Very
And okay, and therefore I'm going to be able to compartmentalize things better, and by compartmentalizing things better, I'm going to be less stressed, and become more resilient, and there's more better self-care.
Yes, because you will know what to do. All right. Now,
Okay.
if you can compartmentalize, meaning that you know exactly, okay, this is bothering me, and what do I do? All right, what kind of actions do I take? But becoming resilient is another thing. I need to tell you first. Becoming resilient, you need some techniques and skills. So it's not together. We can't do it straight away, but there are certainly some techniques that you can use. I call it a brain workout, that you train yourself to be more and more resilient each time.
Okay, so there's brain workouts. Okay. Very, very interesting. Okay. So if I want to, definitely I want to be knocking on your door and finding out more about, those activities. What's the name of the activity again you mentioned? The one about getting clarity and ability to compartmentalize? Sorry?
Me space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So you got activities on me space, and then what's the other activity about resilience? What was it? Mind works? Mind workout?
Yes, it's a brain workout. Yeah.
Brain workout. Okay. Okay. So later on, once we finish with this show, can you type in your contacts, or actually they should be able to see your contact, isn't it? Because I think I tagged you in the show, So is it okay if people who are listening in contact you directly and find out a bit more about what you do?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we are coming up to the hour. So this show is usually about 30 minutes to about 40 minutes. Usually we extend another 10 more minutes if there's any questions. So let's have maybe another 1 more minute. To see if there's any questions coming in. Meanwhile, I'm going to ask Miss Candice to come and share with us her final thoughts. That in this hectic, busy world, we're coming towards, the end of 2022 already. Today is it's only 14 more days, 15 more days to the end of the year. And then everybody will be busy setting goals for 2022, goals that they might not achieve, or set resolutions that they might not follow through. So what would your advice be, for amazing 2022, for people being resilient, being able to look after themselves well, and to be able to move forward? Okay. So what sort of tips, techniques, or advice that you give to people for 2022?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's very normal that people during this time they start to do a lot of reflections, right? So for me, it is the same as well, but it's just that you may go about doing your things, doing your reflections, but you need to really find a place, that is truly quiet, all right, and really go through the whole process. So you go through the reflection process, but it's more like, and usually we start to be put down, our emotions go down, because it's like, wow, it's as though I never did anything, I have so many things I haven't achieved. So your energy level goes down already. But the thing is to be able to recognize your ups and downs, any limiting beliefs and all that. You identify them. Then the next stage you want to do is really to kind of restore yourself, all right, to the original state, but even better. Yeah, so that you can reset yourself, open a new chapter, and then write your new goals.
Is there a sequence of words? Because I think you're using some words like reset, restore. Is there a sequence of words that, that describes the process?
Yes, and actually there's something I'm planning to do, but okay. So I think that first we go through a retreat, right?
Okay.
And then we rejuvenate, and then we reset ourselves, and then we react. Now, react is not, it's not like, you react to things. It's not your reaction, but it's react, ACT. That means you take action again. All right.
Yeah.
So
I suppose sorry. Is it something that you hope?
It's something that I want to do next year.
Okay.
Starting next year. Like a reboot camp.
Okay. Thanks for sharing with us your future plans, right? So, so I'm 𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗃, the work less earn more expert, and I help business owners to work 20 hours less and become 10 times wealthier in 90 days or less. Okay, right? So, for the remaining days of 2021, I'm suggesting that all of us, take Candice's advice, do a little bit of reflection, and determine what you really want in your life. And I suppose, determine for yourself whether you're actually achieving it or not, and always focus on what's most important to you, what your passion is, and to have time, time for yourself, time for your loved ones, and I feel time to actually enjoy life and chase your passion. And you find that if there are any gaps in there, I'm sure Candice will be happy to have a conversation with you, and so am I, okay? Right, so I'm happy, to be able to have a conversation with you. We're just going to have coffee together. You can have virtual coffee with me, and you can have virtual tea with Candice. Because Candice, you did say just now, isn't it, having a virtual tea with people?
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't drink tea. Very little tea, okay, but I drink a lot of coffee, so it's easier to catch me for a
coffee too. Yeah.
You love coffee too? Okay, so Candice is coffee and tea, right? So do reach out to us, and we are always very happy to be able to help people move forward in their journey in life. Because I met Candice, through some programs, and also currently we are both with the Global Business School, where we're actually wanting to work with conscious leaders, conscious business owners that wants to not only improve their business but want to make the world a better place. Okay. So Candice, shall we say good night to everybody, or good morning, good evening, good afternoon?
Yes, thank you so much, 𝗲𝗲, for having me here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. Okay, so see you, everybody. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your morning, or your afternoon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Huh?